Okay, good morning. And today I would like to show you how to install the Samsung Cooktop. The model number is NA36K7750TS. Here's the model number, you can see. So the first thing that I need to do is installing the gas pressure regulator. Why I do this? Because first of all, the inline of the gas line on the cooktop is just a 1/4 inch, but the gas line is half inch. So this gas regulator not only to regulate the gas pressure, but at the same time it's like a connector to connect different sides. So you can see this end is the flare end, will connect to the flex gas line from the natural gas company. It's 1.5 inch, and I installed it right now. The main reason is because the cutout is not that big underneath, so exact cutting is good, but at the same time don't have enough space. So you can see the cut out here. So once I load on the cooktop, you can see at the corner there is not that much space for me to connect the regulator, so that's why I installed it outside first. You can see the power outlet and also the yellow flex gas line has been installed. So once I load down the cooktop, then I can hook up very quickly. And the cooktop, I get the measurement from the manual and then send it to the manufacturer of the countertop. So that's why they can cut exactly the size that I need. And you can see now. So this is a preparation work for the cutout. But what I need to do right now is I also need to put the foam tape barrier on the countertop first. Why? Because this foam tape basically is like a barrier to avoid any kind of like a spill, in case there is a spill. So the spill will not get through along the cooktop. So I need to make sure that the foam tape is on the straight line. So that's why I use some Scotch tape, put it on top, mark it, and then I can lay the foam tape onto the cooktop. On the countertop. So you can see on the Scotch tape there is a mark, right? And to mark the edge. And for both sides, left and right, the distance between the cutout edge and the cooktop edge is around like 2.5 centimeters. For the front and the back, the front is about like a 2 cm, and the back is also around like 2 cm. So I will show you the measurement later on. So but this is very important. You need to make sure that where's the foam tape will be put it. So now I show you how to put the foam tape. Make sure that the foam tape, they are not overlapped, especially at the corner, and so you can see that this is very important. Otherwise it cannot be like a barrier to avoid any spill. Okay, so from the edge of the cut out to the edge of the foam tape, the far end of the foam tape, there is the measurement. So you need to make sure that don't go over it or don't get into it too far. Otherwise, it cannot like wipe in between the cooktop and the countertop. Okay, so and also make sure that it is on the straight line. So every time I will put it about like 2 inches per section. So when I peel off the adhesive, that can make sure that it is right position. So here is the measurement. So you can see on the right hand side is around like a 2.5 to 3 cm. Don't go over 3 cm because otherwise we'll go over it. In the front of the cooktop is about like 1.5 to 2. Don't over 2 cm. Okay. And you can see here also don't go over 2 cm. Now you can see on the left hand side is around 2.5 to 3, don't go over 3 cm. Okay, at the back the same thing, so you can see that this is the way to put it. So now I load down the cooktop, and at the same time I check it whether the foam tape is right in between the cooktop and the countertop. And I also make use of this opportunity that to ensure that everything is stable, because if the cooktop is not stable, then when you cook in the future, there will be like shaky, right? So make sure that, of course, you can install the bracket provided by Samsung, but because the size of the cutout is exactly the size, so I no need to worry about that. But in case you are concerned about the balance, the alignment, so you need to put the bracket provided by Samsung. Okay, so now I need to do is connecting the gas line. So you can see that I have already put the gas line on, and you can see that I put some sealer in between the top and the bottom of the gas pressure regulator, because both ends are just a regular like connectors. Then you need to use the sealer. But you can also notice that the gas line to the cupola, I didn't put any sealer there, because all the flare connector, that kind of like connection end, you no need to put any sealer. If you put sealer in between, that will be a leak. So this is very, very important, and otherwise then you will create big trouble for yourself. So this is very important. So now I tighten all the connections. So what next I need to do is to check whether there is any gas leak, and this is very essential and should be very careful. So first of all, I get a bucket of soap water, and then I will turn the valve on. So after the valve is on, and then I can see whether any leak from the joints. But before I do that, make sure the kitchen is in a well ventilated condition. So that's why I open the patio door. This is make sure that all the test is under a control condition. So that's why I also turn all the knobs in off position, so no gas will come out from the gas top. Okay, then get back to the gas line, and what I need to do is use a cotton ball with a tweezer. Then I put soap water all around the regulator, the top, the bottom, the coupler, and also on the gas line between the coupler. And don't worry about to get it too wet. Okay, so now I turn the valve on. So then I put the soap water all around. Maybe too wet, don't worry about that. And because if it is not wet enough, you will not see whether there is a leak. And at the same time, I will see whether any like bubbles. It's like the kid, they try to like blow bubble from soap water. Okay, sorry about the focus, but yeah, I keep checking. Even I use my dentist mirror to check the back and make sure all the joints there's no leak. Yep, so everything looks good to me. So I think I can proceed to the next step, is to install all the accessories onto the cooktop. So the first thing that I need to do is prepare the surface of the cooktop. So that's why I use some stainless steel cleaner to clean it first, and that kind of cleaner will also create a layer of like protection on top of the stainless steel, so make sure it is easy to be cleaned in the future. And I also put the rings and the cast iron cap on top of all the burners. There are 5 burners, and the middle one is in golden color ring. And so you can see that there are some like rings that you need to make sure the position. Then after the rings, and I put the racks on, and this is the left rack. How I can know this is the left hand side, you can see on each rack there is a wide side, another side is the narrow side. The wide side is on the outside of the cooktop, the narrow side is on the inner part of the cooktop. And at the back also there is an engraved letter to show this is left rack with a capital L there. I can show you also on the right hand side the same thing, and you can see there is an engraved mark R. It indicates this is the rack for the right hand side. So the same thing is I put everything on, so the middle part you will not miss it. Okay, so this is a overall look of the cooktop. It is so beautiful, and so I strongly recommend the people, if you like, this is one of the best. So now I do the flame test. First of all, I try the front left, press the knob, and then turn to lid, and then you can see the fire, and the flame is blue, so it means this is good. So now is the left rear, the same thing, blue flame, it means it is good. So now I test the middle one, the main burner, press and turn to lid, and you can see, oh, the flame is also blue. And when I turn to medium, lower than medium, then only the middle ring will be light. Okay, and now I test the simmer burner, and the same thing, the color of the flame is good in blue color, and also the front right. Yep, so yep, everything functions good. Thank you.